Growing tensions over mass deportations in Los Angeles. This was a scene in Paramount, California today when officers responded to a huge gathering as protesters took to the streets to demonstrate against federal immigration operations. Border Patrol says several arrests were made, and the White House says it is monitoring the situation. At least 30 officers wearing riot gear lined up against the protesters. It isn't immediately clear which agency these officers work for. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says ICE will, quote, continue to follow the law. And it wasn't just L.A. We also saw another standoff between protesters and authorities in New York City. Arrests were made there as well. Today's news comes one day after dozens of people were taken into custody across at least 3 locations in L.A. Our Steve Patterson is in Paramount, California for us. Steve, good evening. What are you seeing there now?
Jose, this all started this morning apparently across the street from a Home Depot, but the tension continues to this very moment. I'll step off and show you behind me. You can see L.A. County Sheriff's Department in full riot gear. We've seen flashbangs be deployed. We know tear gas canisters have gone off. We've seen debris in the streets. We know the FBI says they are looking for several people that they say threw rocks at vehicles conducting operations. This, of course, follows that day of tension, raids across L.A. and L.A. County, specifically dozens of arrests being made. We don't know how many arrests or injuries in this police action, but obviously the tension not dying down anytime soon.
Here's what we know so far. The LA County Sheriff's Department tells NBC News one person has been arrested and several others were detained following protests yesterday. U.S. Attorney Bill Essayli announced on X that more than a dozen people were arrested for allegedly impeding federal agents. This morning, it's still not clear what charges they could face. Crowds quieted down overnight, but earlier in the day, federal officials clashed with several protesters at several locations as unrest ensued. NBC4's Annette Arriola live in our newsroom to break down what else is happening right now. Annette, good morning.
Michelle, good morning to you. A very busy 24 hours. Demonstrators erupted across L.A., tensions reaching a boiling point, and now National Guard members are here in Southern California. And President Donald Trump has said that Marines could also be called in. This is the new video coming in from overnight showing the California National Guard arriving to the detention center in downtown L.A. The Trump administration saying the deployment is in response to the protests that began Friday night over immigration enforcement operations that have resulted in clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement. Now, this video here from News Chopper 4 is as it flew over the federal building last night on Alameda, and you can see there dozens of agents coming out of the building to disperse crowds in downtown. At one point, they fired pepper balls and flash grenades to push back protesters. Now, the LAPD declared an unlawful assembly and moved the demonstrators off the streets. Our McCullough Medina was on scene last night speaking with those demonstrators.
Are you concerned at all about what's happening here, how they're responding to you guys?
I'm concerned because, honestly, like, we're peacefully protesting, you know? We're not throwing anything. We're not causing any damage, anything. I mean, there is graffiti, right? But at the end of the day, the damage was more cost to us than we cost to them.
And our McCullough Medina was also caught in the middle of the melee. You hear there the flashbangs going off. He was standing very close to the news van, and then you see him being pushed out as the chaos unfolds. Now, Governor Newsom has also issued a statement saying that the federal government's decision to take over the California National Guard is, quote, purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. Michelle, we'll send it back to you.
And canisters of tear gas were thrown into the crowds in Paramount yesterday as deputies and federal agents in riot gear stood across the street from a Home Depot there. The sheriff's department declared it an unlawful assembly and asked the crowds to disperse peacefully. Deputies say at one point the crowd grew to about 350 to 400 people and turned violent. Protesters were heard shouting at agents and throwing fireworks at law enforcement. NBC4 spoke to people in Paramount about what they witnessed.
It's anger that we have, fear, a mix of emotions, heartbreaking. You know, no one is expecting to go to work and not come home. People are here for a better living. And if people are not seeing problems with this, then they need to wake up, because that's a big issue.
The FBI also shared this video online in an attempt to track down the person throwing rocks at cars in the city. President Trump deployed the National Guard in attempts to keep the peace, as you just heard. This is a move that the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California says is necessary. He spoke with NBC4's Conan Nolan. Homeland Security says ICE has arrested 2,000.
United States Attorney Bill O'Saley says there was no immigration raid at the Home Depot yesterday in Paramount, but rather immigration agents were staging at a nearby federal building.
So it was just a staging area for our federal agents, but they were spotted and word got out, and these agitators who are organizing this resistance effort started mobilizing people to that location, and it turned into an ugly scene pretty quickly.
O'Saley says that ugly situation did not stop them from issuing their pre-planned deportation orders. The rock throwing at their staging area did injure several ICE officers.
One officer broke a wrist. Some other officers suffered injuries from rocks and cement block pieces that were thrown at them. We had one individual throwing Molotov cocktails. He's been arrested now.
President Donald Trump last night was attending a UFC fight in New Jersey. Prior to that, he authorized the mobilization of 2,000 National Guard troops to assist federal DHS and ICE agents, an action criticized by Governor Gavin Newsom, who posted that the move was inflammatory, that he is in close communication with law enforcement, and that there is currently no unmet need, adding, "This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust." O'Saley welcomes the deployment.
You have thousands of people forming and gathering in crowds, rioting, attacking our agents, throwing rocks, throwing eggs, throwing Molotov cocktails. They overwhelmed the local authorities. They overwhelmed us yesterday. And so the National Guard is being deployed, and they're going to help keep the peace.
O'Saley says the weekend actions are nothing new. Search warrants Friday for employers in the Fashion District and targeted arrests for those facing court-ordered deportation on Saturday. What is new is the response.
We're seeing a very sophisticated level of organization by union groups and other groups to mobilize people to violently resist our efforts to enforce immigration law here. That's not going to stand.
The U.S. Attorney says immigration warrants will continue to be served. Conan Nolan, NBC4 News.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to Allah, my day pushing His truth and all truth and sincerity diligently throughout the four corners. All right, I'm the brother Shamar Ahmad from Great Millstone, Miami. Also from Great Millstone, Southwest Florida, out here in the Fort Myers area. All right, coming to you brothers and you sisters with another quick lesson. And Lord's will, this lesson be quick, edifying, and straight to the point. All right. This lesson is going to be based off what's going on in LA, in California. All right, as you see from the clips in the post-production All right. You know, right now there's some huge tension going on between, you know, the Northern Kingdom, all right, and, you know, the ICE and Homeland Security personnels, man. Okay, and it's getting very, very interesting. All right, and Trump most recently signed something in office, giving you know, the Border Patrol, Homeland Security, the Defense Department, and the National Guards, all right, basically the green light to do whatever they see fit in the situation, man. All right, what even to call in certain army personnel that they need to protect the agents, as it says in the memorandum, to protect the agents performing the faithful bill, all right, of removing and deporting the illegals, man. All right, and this is nothing but just more proof that we are at the end. All right, as you see in the scriptures as well. You know, the scriptures tell us in Matthew the 24th chapter and 2nd Ezra the 9th chapter, when we see uproars of the people, we should be very confident that the Lord is beginning to visit the world that he made. And that's the sign of the end. Oh, it's starting to rain. Get back to the car. All right. And as it tells us in 2nd Ezra the 15th chapter, all right, that there's going to be sedition among men. All right, and it also goes on and tells us that men shall not regard their kings or princes, man. All right, people are upset, man, and this type of, and what's going on in California is soon to take foot and take root in a lot of U.S. states pretty soon, man. Whether it be off the immigration issue that's going on, or whether it be for food or certain policies getting put in play. But a lot of people are about to, all right, take matters into their own hands and go against the standing government. All right, and that's all part of prophecy, man. All right, I believe it's in the book of Isaiah. It tells us that the Egyptian is going to be against the Egyptians. All right. Hey, man, we're living in some beautiful times, brothers and you sisters out there. All right. Let's stay prayed up and stay doing the right thing through the spirit of power. Yahweh Shem El Shad, man. And Lord's will, we'll be out of here real soon. Shalom.